What's up guys, Aaron here, and in today's video I want to go over what my weekend was like with Jamie, what Cleveland was like, things that I learned from working with him, and just tell you a little bit about what he's learned from what he told me over the first 2 years being an NFL punter. Here we go. All right, so as you guys know, it was all over my social media. I spent last weekend in Cleveland, Ohio with the man himself, Jamie Gillen, aka the Scottish Hammer. Quick background on Jamie for those of you guys that just have recently started following me or don't know our history. I was contacted by his agent, Bardia Garameni, 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago now, before the 2019 NFL draft. And basically, he said he had a client of his he was working with. He was a punter from UAPB, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Kid had a massive leg, and he was looking for potentially someone for him to work with, get some pointers from. He had never really had a coach, so I said sure. He was in LA for a week, working out at Exos, which is a really nice sports performance facility in Los Angeles, where the StubHub Center is, and I drove down there one morning. He had just finished a workout and he walks on the field, and here comes this dude with a ponytail and a rugby top and some really tiny shorts, and hey, how are you? I was like, hey, nice to meet you. We walked up to the field, and within about 5-6 balls, you could tell that this kid was something special. So we did our session. I have some clips from that first session still to this day on my phone. For me, just being wowed. And
probably 70 yards.
We clicked personality-wise.
There we go.
We ended up training 2 more times that week, and then a few weeks later, we connected, and Jamie's like, "Hey, can I come out and stay with you before training camp and get some more work?" I said, "Absolutely." So he came out to our home, and at that time, Montclair. He slept on the couch, worked out. We worked out together at LA Fitness across the street. We got some more work. We filmed our first video, which I'll put here somewhere, and from there, the rest is history. He went to training camp with the Cleveland Browns. He won the job against Britton Colquitt, and he's played a very successful first 2 seasons in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. So I've been fortunate to get to work with some really good guys and top level talent, and Jamie is obviously at the very top. He's up there with the best I've ever worked with. So it's been a privilege, it's been a pleasure, and we've been able to stay in touch. We were supposed to train last summer, but COVID happened, and so this was the first time I've seen him since before training camp in 2019. So it was a great weekend. I flew in Friday. He picked me up from the airport at Cleveland Hopkins. We went and grabbed some lunch, and then we went to the field and had our first session, small group session. And immediately you could tell Jamie, he's different now, right? He's lived through 2 seasons in the NFL. He's gone through some ups and downs at the highest level. One of the first things I noticed was just the way he approached his training. When I first met Jamie, he was very like, I'm excited, I'm pumped, and I know I'm talented, I know I'm strong. He was very very relaxed, and he still is. But this time there was definitely more of a sense of focus and kind of let's shut up and train, which I thought was super awesome to see, him have that balance of his normal kind of relaxed, happy-go-lucky personality, and now watching him really lock in. So that first session, first thing I noticed, it was pretty windy, just how much less movement there was in his drop. In the very, very, very beginning, he had a lot of up and down movement with his drop arm. It came up and down and up and down. This time, having been in Cleveland for a couple years, you could really tell that he'd focused on keeping his left arm nice and still. And when when he's into a wind or there's a bad crosswind, he was very good at locking the ball into place, keeping it low, and really driving, up and through the football. So that was the first thing I noticed. And there's obviously some clips here I'm showing you guys just how he kind of kept it low and locked in. In his mind, we talked about when he's into a wind, keeping his left arm a little bit more extended to get it out. And then when he's with the wind, really relaxing his arm and coming up. And as you guys know, I always say, like, whatever in your mind feel like you need to say or think or feel, that's how I want it to be. You know, I want us to be able to agree and think about the same principles and ideals, but however you need to think about it is the way it works, because you're the one punting, obviously not me. So watching him kick into that wind was awesome. And the other big thing I noticed from that first session was what he now considers a good ball, right? So 44 yards out of bounds, 4-3 into a gnarly wind is absolutely perfect for him, right? 47, 4-5 outside the numbers is a great ball, you know, close to the sideline. And not that he didn't know that before, not that we didn't know that before, but to see that now, considering, you know, like I said, he's played, 16 games in that stadium in Cleveland, where the wind comes in and it's famous for coming in I guess it's the southwest side through that gap and swirling around. You know, it was really interesting just to kind of watch him navigate and essentially become a surgeon with, like, this is where I'm placing the ball, this is what I'm doing in this wind. And even with how powerful he is and how strong he is, if he didn't get it absolutely right, the ball obviously deviates and moves and stuff. So it was really cool to watch that. It was also really cool just to watch, even on a training session with a couple other dudes, you know, every snap, every get off, 1-3, 1-3-5, 1-2-5, you know, and this is even pre-OTA form. They start OTAs in a couple weeks. So super cool to watch him just like I said, just work and really watch how he's perfected his craft. Friday night, grabbed some dinner. Saturday, we didn't kick it all, but he came out and sat around with the boys, and he sat there from 7 a.m. to about 11:30 watching all of the young guys train, interacting with them, which was really cool, and kind of giving his 2 cents. So it was super valuable for those kids for the weekend to kind of hear their feedback from him. And then, you know, we went to the stadium, and I think that was actually on Friday, but we went to the stadium during the weekend, and the guy let us in to go look, and he kind of explained to me what the wind does and everything. So just hearing how he's learned to adapt his thinking, you know, with each direction, and this wind coming in this way at the stadium, or if it's coming in this way, or if it's coming in off the lake. Again, just listening and learning and absorbing as much as I could from his experiences. I think that as a coach is so important to bring down to the next generation. So watching him just work and listen to how, you know, what balls he's hit when and which game, and how crazy it was this wind, and when he's punting in front of the dog pound, I think that's just, like I said, so valuable for me to hear, and so cool for him to have experienced so far in his young career. And then Sunday, we did one more session for about an hour and a half, him and I on the field. It was a little less windy, and it was fun just to watch him tee off on some balls. So quick note for you guys, there's no punting straight for him at all in warm-ups and anything, unless he's in the back of the end zone, in which he calls it bombs away. So I have an old clip of him going bombs away from 2019, which I'm sure some of you guys have seen. And then I'll put a clip up of him doing it now. And that's just where he absolutely unloads on a two-step ball out of the back of the end zone, which is super cool. But every other punt is to the sideline, 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 right? So again, why I preach to you guys, you know, direction, having good footwork, having a good line, having a good thought process, why I teach directional punting the way I do, with the snapper moving over and all the little things that I've kind of implemented into my coaching. We do the same things with Jamie. We do the same things. We have the same thoughts, right? And he thinks about them a little bit different, but in reality, it's the same idea. Get the ball, get it out to the sidelines. I'll take 41 out of bounds on a miss rather than 51 down the hash, because at his level, you can't do that, and that's how it's going to get you cut. So I have some clips that I've obviously shown you guys on here of him just really stepping out at a nice narrow line going to his left, a wider line going right. We worked a little bit on, he calls them fringe punting. So anywhere between the 30 and the 40, the 40 and the 50 going in. So it's on his, you know, the minus, you know, 35 to the 50, where, you know, is it a hook punt? Is it a drop punt if the wind's at your back? You know, a lot of them are just good directional balls, but we talked a lot about the thought process between, you know, of gray area and fringe punting. And then we did some drop punts, some Aussie punts going inside the 20, and just how he hits those. And overall, just another great day. So a couple takeaways from the weekend. that I would think it's important for you guys to know. All right. So number one, direction is key. I say it all the time. It's why I teach the way I do. That's why I do things the way I do. But direction is key, you guys. At the highest level, they're not punting straight down the middle of the field. The guys that last forever in the league are painting the sidelines. So why I teach things the way I do, which is, first punt well, then punt often. Why we don't go direction early in the off season is because we got to get our balls going straight first, consistently, good line, good hands, good rhythm, and then we slowly move you guys into punting direction, right? So that's number one. Direction is key. Number two, understanding your environment. Some of you guys play in a lot windier places than others. It's understanding when do you hit a drop punt when the wind's really, howling behind you at your back. How do you learn to lower the ball and drive it into a wind if it's in your face? What do you do with the crosswind? Understanding your environment. It was so cool to listen to him explain how he's, manipulated his thoughts and his thought process on playing in Cleveland. And then obviously their away games being Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati. I mean, those are not easy places to play. But again, if you look at the guys who play there, Huber in Cincinnati, Sam Cock in Baltimore, Jordan Berry, I mean, those guys have been there for a long time. So they've obviously become masters of their environment and understand how to beat it. And then number three, probably the other big thing is just when he works. And even still to this day, from as he was a couple of years ago, when he's not working, he's a happy guy. He's relaxed. He's not always concerned and consumed with his punting. He's living his life. He's, having a beer, talking to people in the town. He showed me around a great time. We went to a bunch of cool new restaurants and little pubs and just had good talks, live talks, good banter, to see how much of a figure he's become in that community where people know him and appreciate him and know that he's just, a normal guy who happens to have an amazing job. It was great to see and kind of to be engulfed in that for a couple of days. So to Jamie, thank you, brother, for a great weekend. It was awesome to see you and to see where you stay and Bear and all the people in your life. It was a pleasure to learn from you and also work with you and continue our relationship in terms of, me giving you my knowledge and then now you giving me yours, because like I said, both I think are so valuable. And then, until the next time, brother, thank you. For you guys, I hope that this was kind of informative to see and hear about what he's doing at the highest level when you guys watch him on Sundays or on Instagram or anything like that. If you have any questions for me about Jamie, please leave them in the comments below. I could talk punting like this all day. So if you have any questions, comments, anything, please leave them down below. What are your thoughts on kind of the information I gave? If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I appreciate that. It obviously helps a lot. And leave a like if you guys like content on Scottish Hammer and Jamie Gillen. I'll be making another video soon about drifting right. That's coming, don't worry. And yeah, man, thank you guys for supporting the channel. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.